financial field. I mean, dead bodies everywhere. People getting injured left and right. The Green Bay Packers, they lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles beat them 22-10. AJ said, "If you must be crazy. You think somebody gonna roll up in the league and beat us?" But there are some red flags flying everywhere. Anywhere you go about this game, first thing people talk about is offense. The offense was stagnant. The offense this, the offense that, especially in the passing game. That's what they really talking about. Because Saquon did his thing. So AJ,
It took him a little bit though. But.
yeah, they're a little slide, But AJ, should the Eagles fans be concerned with the offense?
Joe, let me ask you a question.
Okay. Oh man.
Did your boy look concerned, man?
No.
I mean, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. The first thing I want to say is this, Joe, with my flag on and my Hurt Season shirt on. First thing I want to say is this. Like I said to start the show, in the playoffs, it don't matter how close the game is. It don't matter if you barely beat a team. It's the playoffs. You win and you move on to the next round. That offense could look great. They could have played amazing against the Packers and then turn around and play bad against the Rams. And then what we going to say? Dang, the offense didn't show up against the Rams. No, at the end of the day, them points don't carry over. Momentum sometimes do, for sure. Momentum does. But points and things of that nature do not carry over into the next game. Every game is different in the postseason. Sometimes you play at home. Sometimes you play on the road. Sometimes you create turnovers. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you play great. Sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, it's about getting wins, right? So often I hear this question posed about Philadelphia and their offense. I hear this all the time. We know the Eagles defense is great. You know, the Eagles defense is great. They, We know Saquon is We know right? But if they get into a situation where they have to be in a shootout against quarterbacks, that can really put up points, can they match them? And I'm just looking like, when we played the Packers in week 1, did we not drop 34 when we needed to score 34 points? Interesting. When we played Stafford, the guy we about to play next round, right? Everybody said there's going to be a shootout. He's going to score. Did we not score 37 points? Everybody said before we played Joe Burrow, hey, it's Joe Burrow. In the game before, Jalen Hurts didn't look so hot. He's going to have to do more because the game before we was handing the ball off to Saquon and he went crazy. Jalen Hurts going to have to throw the ball this game. What did I see? What was it? 3-4 total touchdowns out of Jalen Hurts in that game? 250 passing yards out of Jalen Hurts in that game? Did they not drop 37 points in that football game? I heard something earlier this week and it stuck with me and I posted it on Twitter. Shout out to Teddy Bruschi. It's the best take I've heard all week. And it's what I have said about Philadelphia and, most importantly, Jalen Hurts all season long. They know how to play the game within the game. Whatever is required for that game is what's going to happen. If the defense don't show up, best believe Jalen Hurts in that offense will be there. If the offense is not there, best believe that defense is going to strap down and hold you to a point total that the offense can match. And that's been Philadelphia Eagle play all year. I will say this. If there is one thing I can be critical about when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I heard Acho say this earlier, and I'm addressing some things that you didn't say, Joe, just media guys said, because I just really wanted to address some of this stuff. LaShawn McCoy went off and was saying how bad Jalen Hurts looked, and we blow them out by 40 if da-da-da-da-da happens, and this, that, and the third happens. And Acho was like, I'm getting to the point where I just believe Jalen Hurts, like Teddy Bruschi said, knows how to play the game within the game. If my defense is showing out, I don't have to be Superman. I don't have to go crazy. I could be, what was the guy, because Kev put this in the comments. I want to pull this back up. I can be Trent Dilfer, is what he said. I can be Brad Johnson because the defense is doing their job. Blake Bortles, right. They're doing their job, so I don't need to, I don't have to do much. And Shady's response is, well, what if everybody on the team had the same type of mindset? So everybody else is doing their job, but you don't have to do your job? And I thought about it, and I'm like, Shady, I don't think that's the point. I think when you look around the NFL, You see guys in the playoffs smoke games when the rest of the team is playing well. I thought the Minnesota Vikings defense, outside of the first drive of the game, played well against the Rams. Why did they lose that game? Because Sam Darnold played horrible. I thought the Green Bay Packers defense played well against the Philadelphia Eagles. What's the biggest reason why they lost? Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions. I thought the Chargers as a team played well. But why they lose that game? Because Herbert played terrible, right? Jalen Hurts is looking like, look, we got a team this year. I was Superman Force in 2021. I was Superman Force in 2022. In 2023, the defense didn't show up. I had to do more, nonstop, multiple comeback victories. This year, we got Saquon. I'm going to just hand the ball off. I ain't got to do too much. This year, the defense is balling. How about I just game manage and get us through this game? If I go out here trying to force it and I turn the ball over and I sway momentum in this game, maybe we won't be able to get it back. But best believe, if they don't show up and it's time for my boy and the overall offense to put that cape on, it is there. It's been there all along, but it's just about playing the game within the game. There are times where I'm like, all right, bruh, I wish you press the gas a little bit sooner. We don't have to coast right now. And there are times where he just doesn't have a great game, just period. And there's no excuse for it. But I'll often say, as soon as the other team come out and make it close, score a touchdown, get a field goal, here comes Jalen Hurts in the offense with some type of long drive touchdown, long drive field goal. And that's exactly what happened in this Green Bay Packers game. So if I'm an Eagles fan that has watched this offense drop numbers all season long, whether it be Hurts having a day, whether it be Saquon having a day, right? And I've watched this defense play lights out all season long, I have no concerns. And for the people, and I'll pitch it to you, Joe, for the people who always ask the question, what happens if the Eagles are in the shootout? I have a question for you. What happens if they're not? This defense is the best defense in the National Football League. This defense is the best defense in the National Football League. One more time, in case the people that are watching did not hear me. This defense is number 1 overall. They creating turnovers. What's that? 14 turnovers, 13 turnovers in the last 4 weeks, Joe? This defense is the best in the NFL. There's no guarantee that Matthew Stafford is going to put you in a shootout. He might only score 20 points. There's no guarantee if you see Detroit or if you see the Commanders, there's no guarantee that that defense don't keep you under 20 points. There's no guarantee if you make it to the Super Bowl. I don't care who you see. There is no guarantee. Patrick Mahomes out. We're going to leave Pat alone. We already got experience with Pat, right? Outside of Pat, there's no guarantee that anyone else is going to have this amazing offensive game. So let's stop making the assumptions and let's understand what the Eagles do. They play the game within the game. The objective is to win and move on to the next week. We'll see about the Rams soon, man. We'll see about the Rams soon.
No, look.
I like how you come on calm too.
I like the flag.
Thank
Usually,
you.
my guy AJ, he's very critical on his Eagles. You know, he's a lot. You know, honest. What's not saying you're not honest? That's not the word. He's very, you know, critical. That's the word. He's critical. If there's something that's not going right, he will let you know. AJ. Now look, if you're going to say I'm not concerned because I know the defense is going to show up every game, then yeah, that makes sense. But if you're not a little concerned about the offense, which you told me, you poo-poo on the Packers defense. You said it didn't have the number 1 cornerback. But they look like a legit elite defense against y'all that Sunday. And I don't know if people know this because it's a narrative about Jalen Hurts. All right. Now, the Texans game, the Texans and the Chargers game, who, you know, just I know you happy about that, what happened to Justin Herbert. That game showed us there's a difference between the regular season and the postseason. Because going into the postseason, we all would have said, oh, Justin Herbert had a better year than C.J. Stroud. But now we go back and rank these QBs. We're going to put Stroud ahead of him because what Stroud did in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's Hurts' playoff resume? He don't have one. The only time Hurts won a playoff game, AJ, is when he had a number one defense and when his team didn't allow more than 10 points. That's the only time he won a playoff game. When his team allowed more than 10 points, he lost every time. Now, I know you said Hurts would give me what I need. Not every time, AJ. We gotta stop saying that because the first year against the Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl champions, he didn't give you what you need. Last year, the defense didn't show up. He did not give you what you need. He gave you a lot against Kansas City, but he didn't do enough. Like y'all say, because y'all want to throw away the stats. Don't look at the stats. He does what's required. Did he do what's required in the Super Bowl? He did not, because he fumbled and gave up 7 points. So if I'm a Philly fan, I'm a tad bit concerned because Hurts is fresh off of a 3-week bye. Think about that. 3-week bye. He don't have a lot of rest under his belt. He's fresh off of a concussion, right? Now, we can say he's good, but the concussion protocol he was in was extended. And then a hit I showed y'all in the chat, he real life looked like he was concussed. I mean, he came out so slow. His hand looked a little two-ish. And I'm like, this dude look concussed. Maybe he's good. But if I'm a Philly fan, I'm like, yo, Hurts, you better not mess this up. This is like how I'm thinking. Hurts, we got the number one running back in the league. First of all, we got a top 5 coach. Let the Eagles tell it. Top 5 coach, the number 1 GM, the number 1 offensive line, because it ain't Detroit, right? The number 1 defense, the number 1 running back, 2,000-yard running back. We probably got the best duo receivers in the league. One is A.J. Brown, and one is a Heisman Trophy winner. How many receivers has done that? Hurts, you better not mess this up. Because what I saw Sunday, I mean, it is concerning. You should be a tad bit concerned, AJ. To say like I'm not concerned, not worried, it's because your defense. And if you're talking about, yeah, we played the Rams a long time ago and we beat them 37 whatever. I mean, it's a whole different game in the playoffs. You know, it's a different game. You know, Matthew Stafford, which we're gonna talk about the game. He's a seasoned vet. He is a Super Bowl champion. Sean McVay is a really good coach. So I would be a slight bit concerned with the offense. Are we asking you, are you concerned about the Eagles? No. We're asking you, are you concerned about the offense? And yes, you should be concerned.
This season, the only game I can say, oh my gosh, the offense played horrible, was the game that we lost to Tampa Bay. You remember who was playing in that game?
No, AJ.
Because I remember AJ Brown wasn't playing.
No, Devontae
I remember
Smith.
Devontae Smith wasn't playing, and Lane Johnson wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, anytime we've needed the offense to perform, have they not performed?
In the regular season?
In the regular season this year. Every single time we've needed this offense to step up and perform, they have performed. So am I going to look at this game against Green Bay and say, oh my gosh, I'm concerned because they didn't drop 30 on Green Bay and blow Green Bay out, when I've seen all season long their ability to drop 26 to 30 points or more at will whenever they needed to? No, there's no reason to be concerned. When you look at this game, now granted, everybody's going to criticize Jalen Hurts. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't think Jalen Hurts played well. I think he did the bare minimum. He did not smoke the game like we saw multiple other quarterbacks smoke the game.
He didn't turn the ball over. I give him that.
Right, he didn't smoke the game like we saw multiple other quarterbacks smoke the games. But I also want to say we can't sweep Kellen Moore under the rug if we talking about offense. Okay. Dan Orlovsky broke this down. He showed the all 22s. I saw the all 22s. Green Bay saw what was coming, it seemed like, more times than not. When you look at the all 22s, I see there are times like when they played the Panthers, we looking at the all 22s, I'm like, Hurts, bro, this guy's open. And I came on the show and I said that this guy's open, Jay. What's going on? You got to let go of the ball. And when I was watching the game against Green Bay, I had the same thought, like, bro, I know guys is open. Like, what's going on? But then you look at all 22s and you like, yo, hold on. Nobody's open. Like, nobody's open. So now I see why he's holding on to the ball. So can I say I'm a little concerned about Kellen Moore? Maybe. But at the end of the day, in totality, what I've seen out of Jalen Hurts, what I've seen Saquon Barkley do this season, what I know AJ Brown and Devontae can do, I don't think there's any reason to be concerned with what I know this offense can do. Again, it's about the it factor, bro. When they got to show up, them boys show up. And I think they have shown me more times than not. If we just talking this season, they have shown me more times than not I can trust them. I can trust that offense to show up and do what it needs to do when it needs to do it. Now, you always bring up Jalen Hurts' playoff resume. What has he done in the playoffs and this, that, and the third, da-da-da-da-da. I want to say this. We can't just gloss over the wins and highlight the losses. Like the losses were decks were stacked against Jalen Hurts. Because that's the case. In 2020, in 2021, the Eagles were a 7-seeded team. He was banged up in that game. His second option was Jalen Reagor, and he was throwing to a rookie, Devontae Smith, going up against the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers with Tom Brady. Nobody thought we was going to win that game. Nobody in their right mind felt like going to that game with Jalen Hurts banged up against that team who just won the Super Bowl, they was going to win that game. If you go back to the Buccaneers loss most recently, most famously last year, did I expect him to play a little bit better? Yes, I did. At the same time, the way that defense performed throughout the game, I know they had moments where they showed up, but throughout the game, the missed tackles, the missed assignments, Mike Evans getting whatever he wanted on that side of the football, Jalen Hurts again coming into that game banged up with no AJ Brown, tough to overcome, especially on the road. When I look at the games that he's lost in his career, I can't just gloss over the wins and say he didn't have to do a ton in these wins. He at the very least had to manage them to a win. And the reason why we have to bring that up is because we've seen quarterbacks just this week. All you got to do is manage the game, Sam Darnold, and he smoked it. Playoff L. All you got to do is manage this game. Jordan Love, and he smoked it. All you gotta do is play a tick better. Herbert, you didn't throw 4 picks, and he smoked it. So there is something to be said for understanding the assignment in the moment. This assignment calls for me to just be smart. I ain't gotta do too much. I gotta do just enough to get this win. And if I have to do a little bit more, I will do my darnest too. He lost in the Super Bowl. That is on his resume. He played fantastic, but he did have the fumble. I thought he played great, but he had a bad moment. Those are his 3 losses. So I'm not glossing over, he didn't do much in the wins, but then highlighting the L's. The man's 3-3 in the playoffs now? How many quarterbacks in the NFL right now around his age got a better record? How many quarterbacks is 50% right now?
See, this is my gripe with that. Sorry to cut you off. You finished?
Oh, no, I was done.
This is my gripe with that. You highlight that Hurts was injured, that Hurts was a 7 seed, that Hurts thrown into this player, Hurts thrown into that player, that he has a disadvantage. You take out Hurts to every playoff team y'all beat. Take out Hurts and take out the other quarterback. Y'all clearly smoking at every team except for the 49ers, who quarterback actually got hurt.
That's not his fault, Joe.
But you naming all the stuff that's stacked against you. That's you name. I'm just letting you know that y'all keep saying if Hurts got to do it, he's gonna do it for you. Name one time in the playoffs when Hurts was asked, "Yo, y'all got to carry us to a victory," and he did it. He has never done it in the playoffs, never. And when he was asked to do it, he didn't accomplish it. Those 3 losses that you have, all 3 teams scored 30 plus, and he could not match it. Like you keep telling me that he could. I'm gonna say, you told me he can do it. He hasn't done it. The only time he's won is when his team allowed 10 or less points. Only time he's won. I want to see Hurts win. Like I keep saying, he does what it takes to win. Well, what I've seen, when people put up points on the Eagles in the playoffs, Hurts don't match it. Okay. Hurts don't. And there's always a caveat. Oh, he was a baby. Okay, what about last year when he went to the Super Bowl and came out the next year? Oh, when you have AJ Brown, we was in the fun. Ain't he the leader? I mean, that's on my check. And he get all this credit for the man. This dude focused. This dude locked in. He the leader. So why he don't get no blame for the funk? So he's a problem too. Last year, I'm not saying you didn't say that. I'm just saying that we can't use that as an excuse on why he lost because he's the quarterback. So
yes or no question.
Okay.
Is he the reason why they lost the Super Bowl? Honesty. We live on air.
No.
Okay.
He's not the main reason. He's not.
Is
The
he
defense,
the? I'm asking. Is
the
he
defense,
because
the defense could have been better.
because we know the reason why the Packers lost, right? This weekend, we know that, right? We could pinpoint Jordan
He
Love.
only put 10 points.
We can look at the Chargers. We know why they lost, right?
Yeah, I get you.
We could look at the Vikings and say we know why they lost, right?
Yeah,
So
I
my
get you,
thing,
yeah.
so my thing is, while I understand what you're
Shout out to
saying,
Cortez.
shout out to Cortez, my dog. I get where you coming from. In the
Mhm.
games that he's won, he has not been put in position to where he's had to carry the team. He's been in position to game manage, and he has game managed successfully. All I'm saying is there's some quarterbacks in the playoffs that don't even do that. So I'm not about to take away from the wins because he game managed through wins, but at the same time, big upping the L's because he wasn't able to match. Of course, we can say Lamar Jackson is a great rusher. No, he don't rush for 100 yards every game. Does that mean he's not a great rusher? We can say Jalen Hurts is a winner. Does that mean he has to win every game? No, that's not. That's what it seemed like. It seems like because you say when he needs to make the play or he needs to make something happen, right? He makes it happen. But these few instances in the playoffs where he had to do something, he wasn't able to do it. And it's like, bro, nobody has a perfect playoff resume. Everybody has moments in the playoffs where they don't play well, but more times than not, in my opinion, because I know it's 3 for 3 right now. We got a lot more football left to go. Trust me, Eagles fans, when I say we got a lot more football left to go, right? More times than not, when I watch Jalen Hurts, I see a quarterback that he's going to get it done when he absolutely has to get it done. It might not be pretty. They might not be attractive, but I'd rather take that over somebody who's going to put up these numbers and not get the job done. That's all I'm getting at. But any of the quarterbacks I mentioned, my bad, Joe, any of the other quarterbacks that I mentioned in the first Tampa game, in the second Tampa game, and in the Super Bowl, because Pat don't lose in the Super Bowl unless he ain't got no offensive line. Ain't too many quarterbacks in that position winning those games. And that's the truth. Ain't too many people taking down Brady with that team in Tampa coming off a Super Bowl. It's not happening. Ain't too many quarterbacks coming out there with a dislocated finger without their number one receiver going up against Tampa Bay and winning that game last year either. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it.
Y'all couldn't put up more than 9 points, bro.
But
look, y'all put up 9 points. It's not like it was competitive. Y'all got blown out.
I mean, but look. Okay, last thing. You say the 9 points rebuttal is not fair because then it's a loss is a loss. He put up 30-something in the Super Bowl and lost.
No. I wouldn't be killing you. I got you now. This is my issue. What's the question at hand? The question is, should the Eagle fans be concerned with the offense? And you said no, because Hurts, if he needs to do it, he would do it. And I'm telling you, in the playoffs, we haven't seen it.
I said I didn't just pinpoint Hurts. I also brought up Saquon. The offense, I'm not concerned about. I'm not really concerned about Hurts either, but I made sure to lead it with every time they have needed to score big time points this season, it's what they've done. Whether it's Hurts having a day like how he did against Pittsburgh, or whether it's Saquon rushing for 255 yards the last time we saw the Rams. Whenever this offense needs the ball, they ball. That's all I'm saying.
If you say, Joe, listen, man, the past, I know Hurts hasn't come through when he needed to come through as far as the scoring part and winning the game. But we got Saquon. So I feel better. We got Saquon this year. I feel a lot better that Hurts going to get it done this year because we got Saquon. That makes sense.
I'll do you one better. We got AJ Brown. Okay. That takes a lot of concern.
You got some help.
We got AJ Brown. We got a number one receiver. Ain't too many quarterbacks winning playoff games without their number one. It's the truth. We've only lost one playoff game with AJ Brown, and that was a Super Bowl.
I mean, Smitty at number one technically, but
he don't garner the same.
Smitty nice,
AJ. But Smitty Cole, I ain't gonna take away from Smitty. I ain't gonna take away from Smitty. Yeah, you trying to trick me to take it away. I mean,
some people tell me he better than McLaurin. I mean, I heard that plenty of times over the last couple of
and Hurts is not Lamar. Hurts ain't Lamar. I've already said Lamar better. So credit to Lamar. I ain't never the one to say Hurts is better than Lamar. So there are certain Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying he better than those guys. Just putting it like that. But let's move on, Joe. Let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that topic, man. I didn't know that was
It's been a
minute. It's been a minute. I didn't know that was gonna turn into the debate that it turned into. And once we started, it's like, oh no. We gotta go. We gotta go. Joe, the Commanders went out.